Hi, I'm Michael from Ricardo's Florist in Greenwich, Connecticut. We take great pride in ensuring that our flowers last long in your home. So today I want to share with you a few of our tips and techniques on cutting and cleaning your flowers. We have this beautiful bouquet here. Let's unwrap it. So the first step is to clean any excess foliage and remove any damaged petals. But first, let's get organized and let's see what's in this bouquet. Some beautiful hydrangea, these nice roses. Now we're all organized, so let's get our vase that I've already selected. I've chosen this vase because I would like to make an arrangement that's relatively short. And this is helpful because now when we're cleaning our flowers, we'll know what foliage will have to come off that stem. The first flower is this beautiful hydrangea. As I mentioned, sometimes there's damaged leaves or petals. This happens during the transportation and it's no big deal. It just needs to be broken off. You could remove leaves off of the stem with your fingers, or if you feel more comfortable, you could certainly use a pair of pruners and just cut it off. Because this stem will be cut shorter, I knew that I had to remove that foliage at the top of the stem. The same thing would apply with a rose. If I'm going to arrange it this low, I would want to make sure that I remove any of this foliage that will fall below the water line. The importance with that is any foliage or anything that would go into the water is going to help bacteria grow, and we want to avoid that. Our vase has already been prepped with the floral nutrients, so that's going to help the flowers remain nourished and give it the full maximum amount of life that it can have. Roses are really unique because they do have guard petals, and sometimes these guard petals might be discolored and you can remove them. You just simply bring the petal back and gently tear it. But I must tell you that they do have a function. They help the rose open slower, so you'll be able to enjoy the rose for a longer period of time. Guard petals generally are a little bit more wrinkled or creased, but that's the beauty of the rose. So try not to remove them if you don't have to. This beautiful hybrid delphinium is going to look gorgeous in our arrangement, but it's a little too tall. So if I bring the vase to the edge of the table, I can kind of judge that I'd like this stem to be about this tall. Unfortunately, we're going to have a few blooms that need to be removed. And I'll just go ahead and break those off. But don't worry, if you're having a dinner party, these little blooms would be great as an accent on the tabletop as a confetti. So I'll remove these off. They would look great floating in a little low glass vase. And we have a few stems of these wonderful oriental lilies that have a great fragrance. Again, we're going to be arranging low, and we'll remove any foliage that will fall below the water line. Now that everything is cleaned and prepared, we can start to cut our flowers. When choosing the different types of tools to cut your flowers, you do have a few options. The best option would be to use a knife. The knife allows you to get a good cut on the flower, exposing about a 45-degree angle, and that allows the flower to have the maximum surface to absorb water. You could also use a ratchet pruner. This will allow you to cut the stem and not squish or squeeze the bottom of the stem that this guy, the scissors, is going to do. If this is your only option, it's okay. Just ensure that they are sharp so you do get the cleanest cut possible. Scissors have a tendency to squish the stem, which will upset the vascular system and not allow the water to go up the stem to the bloom. Therefore, you'll have a head that is going to turn down. We've already established what vase we're using. I'm going to give you a little tip. If you move the vase to the edge of your countertop, it'll allow you to be able to judge how much to remove off of the stem. If I want my flower here, I can ultimately know that I'm going to end up cutting the flower stem approximately right here. You'll notice also on the hydrangea, carnations, and roses, there's nodes on the flowers. You always want to cut above or below the node, not on the node. I'll first show you how to cut it with a knife. You'd want to grab the flower with your, I'm right-handed, so I'll grab the flower with my left hand and the knife in my right hand, and I'm going to pull my left hand away from the knife, like that. And if you notice, that gives me a nice clean angle. And there's some pith inside of the hydrangea stem, and a lot of woody stems actually have that. If you just take the back of the knife and remove it, it'll help the water to absorb much clearer. Now, if you're going to use something like the ratchet pruner, you just want to make sure that your angle is also as much to a 45-degree angle as possible. So, I'm going to place the ratchet pruner on the stem and clip it. You'll notice as well that there is some pith, so you can take the back of a knife and remove that. But you can see how much more beneficial it is to use a knife, so learning that technique might be beneficial to you. So we've discussed where to cut the flowers, and we've also discussed how to cut them. But it's also very important that you know when you cut them. You want to make sure that you cut your flowers just prior to them being arranged into the glass vase. The reason is, once these flowers are cut, if they sit on a countertop for too long, they can callus over, and that's going to form a barrier from any water being able to go into that stem. So, as I'm doing right here, very casually, I'm cutting my flowers and just placing them right into my vase. At McCardle's, we realize that some people may not enjoy arranging their own flowers, so we've made it easy for you. You could have our designers create one of these beautiful hand-tied bouquets. These are arrangements that are already created for you, ready to go. All you have to do is unwrap them and clip the stems. Again, I'm cutting them on a nice angle with my ratchet clippers. And all you do is place it into your own vase. How simple is that? Well, I hope that you've learned a few techniques today that will help you in cleaning and cutting your flowers. If you ever have any questions, never hesitate to call us. Everyone at McCardle's is happy to help. Until we see you next time at the store, enjoy your flowers and have a beautiful day.